From the Emigrant Vibe Studios in Jerusalem, Israel, our nation's capital, it's Loose Live! Now here, your hosts, me, and Raphael Geller. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Purim Sameach is Purim in a few hours in most of the world. In Jerusalem, it takes place Thursday night, Friday. So we're excited about Purim, excited about this show. We have some great guests. We're going to get right to it. We're going to announce the lineup. We'll go to commercial and then bring back our first guest. Our first guest of the evening was the former general manager of the Philadelphia 76ers. He drafted Allen Iverson number 1 overall in 1996. And now he's currently coaching the national team in Venezuela. That's Brad Greenberg. So we're looking for Brad. He'll be right after this commercial break. After Brad, we're going to have then former Florida Gator star and current Maccabi Ashdod star Alex Tice. He'll be participating in the three-point competition tomorrow. The All-Star game takes place in Ashkelon for the Israeli Super Basketball League. So that'll be a lot of fun. Me and Rafi both be out there. Enjoy the festivities. And then at 6 p.m. IST Israel Standard Time, we're going to be having on Jim Williams from the Washington Examiner talking about the big release of number 18, Peyton Manning. And then a very special treat at 6:45 local time, we're going to have on the man who coached LeBron James in high school, Keith Dambrot, and that'll be a lot of fun. He's currently coaching in college right now, but of course, probably most famous for coaching LeBron James. We'll take a break, and on the other side, the former general manager of the Philadelphia 76ers, Brad Greenberg. You're listening to Lewis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel,
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hello,
Hi, is this Coach Brad Greenberg?
speaking. This is Raphael.
Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to Israel Sports Radio. This is Raphael. How are you? Tell our listeners, how are you doing in Venezuela?
I'm doing all right. I'm in a town called Barquisimeto.
Very cool.
Barquisimeto, I should say. Yeah, so I'm doing well.
Okay. Well, as I just mentioned, you're in Venezuela. Can you tell our listeners what you're up to there, what's your coaching position, and all about that?
Well, I'm the head coach of a team that's located outside Caracas called the Bucaneros de La Guaira. La Guaira is a part of the state of Vargas, which is right near where the airport is if you want to fly into the Caracas International Airport. And I took that position after spending 2 months this summer as the assistant coach with the Venezuelan national team, where we qualified for the pre-Olympic qualifying event that will be held in July by coming in 5th place in the FIBA Americas. So I had spent 2 months in South America and then got offered this opportunity and made a decision to start an international coaching career after spending a lot of time in the United States, both in college and the NBA. And I'm getting a lot of experience coaching here in South America.
Very, very cool. So you told us you were the assistant coach for Venezuela. I was just wondering, as a huge fan of college basketball, did you get the pleasure of coaching Gravis Vasquez, a standout from University of Maryland?
Yes, definitely. I got a chance to get to know Gravis really well, stay in touch with him, pretty regularly now. I'm scheduled to be part of the national team staff again this summer, even coaching the team in the South American Championships prior to the pre-Olympic qualifying event. So I speak often with Gravis. He was the leader of the national team this past summer and a very, very strong personality in Venezuela who, above all, wants to see basketball grow in his home country. He works tirelessly to try to help grow the sport and give back to Venezuelan basketball. So I have a lot of respect for Gravis.
And he's on the New Orleans Hornets right now, correct?
Yes, he's actually been starting. They've had some injuries, so he's playing over 20 minutes a game and getting great experience. He was on the Grizzlies last year and got some experience, played a little bit more in the playoffs. But this opportunity for him is great. He doesn't play on a winning team right now, but early in his career he's getting a chance to play, and that's going to help him grow.
Right. And so can you tell our listeners a little bit what it's like to, as I noticed you have spent most of your career on the East Coast. When you were an assistant at America and St. Joseph's. Besides the Clippers, the Knicks, Virginia Tech. So can you tell us what it's like to kind of go from the East Coast, culture, lifestyle, all the way down to Venezuela?
Yeah, it's definitely different. One of the great things about it is, the weather here is fantastic. I got friends back home in Roanoke, Virginia, shoveling snow, and it's 85 to 90 degrees every day. So I'm enjoying that, it being March, to be in warm weather all the time. Venezuela is an interesting country. There's a lot of wealthy people, but there's an awful lot of poverty, and it's definitely the haves and the have-nots, it seems. So where I live, there are some beautiful apartments overlooking the ocean, but then there are miles and miles of shanty homes built into the countryside. So it's definitely a contrast. The people are nice, but it's definitely for me, an isolated experience because, I'm either in my apartment or in the gym or traveling with the team. I'm not in a city, where you can walk out and be stimulated by the environment. It's pretty much basketball and, an isolated life, but it's a good experience for me now that I'm get a chance to, to get my feet wet with the international game.
Okay, and what's it like? Is Venezuela a country where soccer is the major sport there, for the most part?
Well, actually, baseball is the number one sport.
Okay.
I think outside the Dominican Republic, they have more South American players in Major League Baseball than any other South American country. So baseball is really the number one sport. Basketball and soccer are number two. So, the pro league in Venezuela for basketball, has a strong following. The good teams, sell out their arenas. The people are very, excited about the game. They're fanatical about it. So there's an awful lot of spirit. The games are loud and entertaining. So basketball is big, and the national team, by qualifying for the pre-Olympic event, and by virtue of the federation bidding and winning the right to host it. I mean, this year's Olympic qualifying event will be held in Caracas, so there's an awful lot of interest in basketball, as the Venezuelan team will be one of 12 teams trying to qualify for the remaining three Olympic berths. So it's an exciting time for basketball in Venezuela.
Right. Okay. So right now we want to talk a little bit more about your very extensive career in the United States of America. So we'll start off back in the days in the late 70s. How did you? I believe you were a 3-year player at American, which is in Washington. What made you decide that you wanted to, after college, you wanted to join the team as I'm guessing it's probably a grad assistant?
Yes. Well, I always wanted to coach. I did have an opportunity after I finished playing to go play professionally if I had wanted to in Israel, but decided that I wanted to get my college coaching career started. So I had an opportunity to stay at my alma mater and start coaching, and I was fortunate enough to do that for 1 year at American and then 6 years at a school in Philadelphia at St. Joseph's before I had an opportunity to get into the NBA to work for my former college coach. So, that was a career decision I made, and it's worked out well, even though there are times that I wonder what it would have been like had I tried to continue playing and ventured to Israel to start a career as a player still.
Do you, by any chance, remember the name of the team in Israel that you were possibly going to sign with?
I can't remember it offhand, to be honest.
Okay.
It was a long time ago, 1977, so
Right.
It was a while ago.
Okay. So, as you said, you started off at American, then you went to St. Joe's, which, in the last couple of years, they've become kind of a powerhouse. Or back in the, in the early 2000s, they had that team with Delonte West and the starting point guard on Orlando, which was Jameer Nelson. So, yeah. Then you got to the Clippers for 1 year, and then you were with the Clippers for 2 years, and the Knicks for 1 year, and then you kind of moved into the whole management, player personnel. So can you tell us what kind of made you, go from the coaching, coaching side to the whole management, dealing with players and making all the big decisions? How did you get involved in that?
Well, it just came about. I was an assistant with the Knicks, and they made a coaching change. So the head coach that I was working for at the time, Bob Hill, wasn't retained, and I had developed a relationship with some people with the Portland Trailblazers, just as a friendship. When I was in Los Angeles, actually, with the Clippers, and they just presented me with an opportunity to come on board there as a scout and scout college players and NBA players for either draft picks or trades. And, just out of that grew an opportunity to then move to Portland and be part of their, front office as the player personnel director. So when I started scouting, it wasn't with the intention of staying on the management side, but it just evolved that way. And the next thing I knew, I was fortunate enough to be in Portland during some very successful years. And, it just sort of seemed the way to go for a while. And then I ended up in Philadelphia, and then after that, made another career decision to get back into my first love, which was coaching, back in the college ranks. So I've, been fortunate enough to do an awful lot of different things in basketball on both the college and professional level. And now, this is a new adventure for me and one I'd like to really, focus on the next 10 years, and that is international coaching in the professional ranks.
Okay, so the next question we're gonna touch on really quickly because we know everyone always asks you the question, the Allen Iverson question. So we'll go over it quickly because there's a lot more stuff we want to talk about, and we only have 5 more minutes. So, okay, so you're in the draft room with the Philadelphia 76ers, and what was everyone talking? Was Allen Iverson always? Did everyone know that he was going to be the number 1 pick? Did you guys even talk about it, or was it kind of just like we're going to take him no matter what?
Well, we had done our research, and that was my responsibility to make the final choice for that draft, and did spend a lot of time researching a number of players, and just for a lot of reasons, I felt Iverson was the way to go. He had a spectacular career. May go down as the greatest small scorer in the history of the NBA. So. He was just somebody that at that time, that the team needed either a guard who could score or a big guy, and there were no big guys that were as good as Iverson was at his position. So, we decided to go with him, and, he ended up being an MVP. He was Rookie of the Year. He was the Rookie All-Star Game MVP. He led the league in scoring a bunch of years, and, had a marvelous NBA career.
Okay, great. So, as most people know, you have a brother who is actually also very, very, very big into basketball, the head coach at Virginia Tech, Seth Greenberg, and you actually went to coach there for 4 years, 3 years, or 4 years, was it?
Yes, 4 years.
How was it like?
That was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, how was it like coaching with your brother, who, what I've heard, you're very close with?
Yes, he's a tremendous coach. When I decided I wanted to get back into the college game, there was an opening on his staff at that time at South Florida. And then 2 years later, he moved to Virginia Tech, right. So I followed him there, and we helped rebuild that program. They had been having some rough times, he's had a lot of success, and it was just tremendous to be able to help him get that program started up again. And it's very unique that you get a chance to be in the same profession as your brother, let alone work side by side with him. So that was something I always cherish.
Right, and if your brother is listening, we've been trying to get him on the show for a while because we're trying to have all the great Jewish coaches on, and he's the only one that we need right now. We've had Josh Pastor on. We've had Coach Rob Senderoff and the MAC for Kent State. We're having the coach from University of Akron, Keith Dambrot. So if you can put in a good word for us with your brother, we'd really, really appreciate that. Okay.
Well, I know he's getting ready for the ACC tournament. I'm sure after that he'd be glad to come on. I'll try to work that out for you.
Right. We actually were talking to his media relations guy, and he told us that he was going to talk to him. But of course, since we know he's a very hard worker, he decided to just, instead of going home after a game, he decided to just go recruiting right after the game, and so we didn't get to arrange it. But I'm sure we will. And again, it'd be really great if you could put in a good word for us. Okay. So then you were at Radford, and you guys went to the NCAA tournament. Can you tell us what it was like to be in one of those small schools and achieve success, win your conference tournament? Usually when you're in a school like that, you're at a much bigger schools. You're in the NBA. What is it like to have that? Your game's on ESPN. Suddenly you have everyone watching you. What was it like for you as a coach at Radford to get that program to NCAA tournament?
Yeah, that was fantastic. The school had only been in the NCAA tournament one other time in its history. And when I got there, the team, had a couple of rough years. We were fortunate. We recruited a very, very good player, a big man who's playing professionally in Europe right now. And he was the best player in the league. But I always tell people the fun story about that season was our gym, our arena, was having its roof repaired. So at the beginning of the season, we played in a very small campus gym that only had room for about 500 people.
Wow.
So our season started playing in a gym with 500 people. And the last game we played, which was against North Carolina in the NCAA tournament, there were 23,000 people. So we went from a team that wasn't, very good, or people didn't really notice us much, playing in front of 500 people, to 23,000 in a matter of about 3 months. So it was quite an evolution for us. But that's something that I'll obviously always remember, and it was a memory I can share with a lot of people. The players on the team were fantastic, and that's quite an accomplishment for any group to make the tournament, let alone a team that had struggled for a couple of years, and to see the seniors and juniors on that team enjoy that experience was wonderful as a coach.
Okay, great. We're in the end. We have the last few questions. Obviously, we talked earlier about how you are of Judaism. You're Jewish. We'd just like to know what that kind of means to you, and what it means to you when you add basketball to the mix. Like, as being one of the only Jewish coaches out there who's had a lot of success, what does it mean to you personally?
Well, I'll tell you, I had an experience this summer. Out of the blue, while I was in Argentina helping coach the Venezuelan national team, I received a call from a fellow by the name of Lawrence Norman, who was a very big executive with Adidas in their global basketball. And he asked me if I would be interested in coaching the Masters men's team in the South American, the Pan Am, I should say, Maccabi games in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Oh, wow.
So I spent about a week with a bunch of older basketball people that just love to play in the 45 and older Masters competition, and we won the gold medal. The U.S. team, we beat Canada and Brazil to win the gold medal in the Pan Am Maccabi games in Sao Paulo. And spending a week with those fellow Jews in South America, the competition was at the Hebraica in Sao Paulo, which is a unbelievable facility. Apparently they have around 20,000 members.
Wow.
And it was really just a heartwarming experience that I'll remember certainly for the rest of my life. I made a lot of good friends in a short time, and as a result, I've been contacted by Maccabi USA to either coach or help coach my brother, the Open team in the Maccabi games in Tel Aviv in 2013, or stay with the old guys and coach them again in 2013 in Israel. So right now on my calendar is the plans to get to Israel for sure by 2013, that summer, because it's something I've never done and feel I need to do, get to Israel and experience it. I'd be remiss if I didn't say, one of my goals is to coach one day in Israel, and not just the Maccabi games, but to be involved with a professional team in Israel. I really would love to do that. And South America is good, and Europe would be fine to coach if I'm going to continue coaching internationally. But there's something in my blood that says I have to give it a shot coaching a pro team in Israel before long. So that's a sort of a focus of mine right now.
Cool. That was actually going to be my next question. So we'll move on. We'll move on to the next question. Well, it's just kind of it's not a vague question, but you've coached a lot of places. You were a player also at Washington State and American. What was this? And now you've been in South. Where was one of your favorite arenas to play ever? Which with someone like you, which we're very happy to have you on, with someone like you, there's so many different places it could be. So that's specifically why I'm asking you this question. I would say there are three places, really, that were special for me with memories.
one of them would have to be Madison Square Garden. You know, I had a chance to play there as a college player 1 year, I guess my junior year, when we played Rutgers, and they went to the Final Four that year. So growing up on Long Island and watching the Knicks and idolizing those teams from Red Holzman to play in Madison Square Garden as a college player was, you know, fulfilled a lifelong dream. And then later on coach there, you know, that was really special. When I was coaching in college, the Palestra in Philadelphia on the campus of the University of Pennsylvania is one of the most unique, you know, venues in all of basketball. So, you know, the years I spent at St. Joe being part of some very memorable games at the Palestra is fantastic. And then during some of that years in Portland, playing at that time in Veterans Memorial Coliseum, before they built the Rose Garden, you know, we were in 2 NBA finals there, and that was, you know, as good an environment for a pro team as you could get, almost like a college atmosphere, because in Portland, the only pro team is the Trailblazers. So, you know, the whole city, you know, follows the Trailblazers, and during those years we had such good teams. It was pretty special. So, I've been lucky. I've been part of at different times in my life, you know, some very unique teams, and I've just been very fortunate. You know, I've been involved in basketball my whole life, and it's taken me a lot of places, and you know, given me a chance to have a lot of great memories.
Okay, we're going to let you go, and this is the last question. We'll say again, you've coached everywhere. When you were a coach, who was that coach on the other sideline, on the opposing team that I wouldn't even say you hated. I would call it more of he got you pumped. It was like a big rivalry. Well, who was your favorite coach to coach against? Sorry.
You know, it's hard to answer that question. I can't say there was any one, but, you know, I have such great respect for coaches in general. You know, there's so many good coaches, you know, and at any time you go out there, you know, to try to lead a team, you know, the guy on the other side, he knows what he's doing. Certainly it was a lot of fun for me, you know, when we would play at Radford, we would play some of the bigger schools, you know, like, you know, we had some games 1 year against Louisville and Duke and Kansas. So,
wow,
you know, to bring my team into Cameron Indoor Stadium or Freedom Hall in Louisville or Fog Allen Arena at Kansas,
crazy.
You know, those are the kind of things that are a lot of fun. You know, it's a great experience for the players to get a chance to do that, and certainly it's fun as a coach to just take your team into that environment and, you know, see how you could stack up against those kinds of teams. So. Those are always fun, those kind of experiences.
Okay, Brad Greenberg, coach at Venezuela. He's also the assistant coach of the national team there. Thank you very, very, very much for taking time out of your schedule and coming on our show. We wish you the best of luck with the rest of the year, and we hope to have you on maybe in the off-season of your season. Well,
I'd be glad to do it, Raphael. Thanks for giving me a ring, and hope that I'll see you somewhere down the road in Israel.
If you come to Israel, we'd love to have you in the studio.
All right, that's a deal.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, that was Brad Greenberg. We're going to take a break. On the other side, Alex Tice. You're listening to Louis Live in Israel, sportsradio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hello.
Hi, Alex. Welcome to Israel Sports Radio. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Good. Very, very happy to have you on. We're sorry it took so long to figure out all the logistics, but you are on right now, and we're very happy. So we're going to start the first question. We're going to, first of all, take a little look at your history, where you're from, so all our viewers, listeners know everything. So you started back at the University of Florida under Billy Donovan in, I believe, 2007, 2008 was your rookie year, correct?
Excuse me, can you say that one more time?
Yeah, sorry. Your freshman year at University of Florida was 2007 and 2008.
Yes.
Okay, and you came in with a good group of guys. You came with Chandler Parsons, who's now playing in the NBA, point guard Lucas, and then the Greek Nick Kalathis, I believe. Correct?
Yeah.
Can you tell our listeners what it was like to come into that Florida squad? After they've won the back-to-back championships, what kind of pressure did you feel coming into the squad, and what did Coach Donovan expect of you?
Coming in when I was a freshman, I was really young, and actually our whole group of guys who played a lot were really young. We had 6 freshmen, and we just didn't really understand what it took and how hard it was for those guys that Joe Kimmel and Al Horford and Corey Brewer, those guys of what they did to win at a high level, and we kind of thought that just coming in, it's just going to magically happen. And I think that was the hardest thing for us, being young guys, that it takes a lot of hard work to win at a high level and to do special things.
Right, and as you said, you guys were very young, so you guys finished your first year 24-12, 8-8 in the SEC, and you did not make the NCAA tournament, which was very hard for all those Gator fans after you guys win back-to-back championships to go to the NIT. But you guys got better, and by your junior year, you made the NCAAs, and then last year, your senior year, I believe, you guys made a deep run in the Elite Eight, right?
Right. Yeah.
Could you tell us what it was like, to go? You start as a freshman, and you get to the NIT, and you're expecting kind of get to the NCAA tournament, but you get to the NIT, and then by your senior year, I'm pretty sure you played Arizona in the Elite Eight, or I don't remember who you played, but you guys had a very deep run, and you had a very good team last year with you and Parsons, and you had all the young guys on the team, all the guards. So could you just tell us what it was like freshman year to be in the NIT or NIT semifinals, and then your senior year to be in the Elite Eight and the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, it was great to, just being able to make it that far my final year. It was very tough. Freshman year, not making the tournament. Then again, my sophomore year, not making the tournament as well. And we had a couple really good players leave early for the draft, and Nick Calais now he's playing in Greece. But Maurice Spates, he was really a big key for us my sophomore year. And, having early injuries really hurt us. But my junior year, the guys, stuck through it. We ended up being able to make the tournament, and we got a little bit of a taste of what it was like to start winning big games and to get there. And my last year, we was able to make a run. We were a lot older. We ended up getting a transfer. Vernon Macklin, he helped us out a lot. He's now playing with the Pistons. So, we had some pieces kind of go in and out, and we finally had the same team my junior and senior year, and we were able to get more experience under our belt as a team, and we found ways to win games. And my last year, we ended up making a big run, and it worked out for us.
All right, great. I'm sure everyone really wants to know what was it like being under the wings of the legendary, this guy's a young guy, but Billy Donovan. What was it like learning from him in your college years?
Just learning how to play hard all the time and practice, and doing the little things to win games, and he really taught us a lot about coming together as a team, and just doing everything for the team, being all in, being together, sticking together with our guys and our teammates and stuff. I think that was one of the biggest things, and that he did for me that I remembered is just to continue to work hard and play hard and stay focused. Great.
So now we're kind of gonna move on in your history, and this is the thing that all our listeners really, I'm sure you know what I'm about to ask you, but what all our listeners really want to hear you kind of talk about. As it was reported earlier this year, I believe in the summer or late last year, you and your wife decided to convert to Judaism. Can you? I know people ask you this all the time, but we're in Israel, and this is Israel Sports Radio. So can you kind of go into more detail about why you made that decision? Was it your wife's choice, or was it your choice, or how did you guys both agree that this is what you wanted to do and this is what you felt was right?
Yeah. Well, going to the University of Florida, I'm pretty sure it's the biggest Jewish population for college.
Right, huge Jewish population. Yeah.
So, we had a lot of Jewish friends, and we had my wife had a Jewish roommate for a while, and we kind of went through the different holidays, and she always talked about different topics and things like that. And I think instantly it got my wife kind of thinking, well, now we're married and want to think about the future as far as having kids and things like that. She came to me more about religion, and I always believed in one God, and I always had my views and what I thought. And she came to me about it. We talked about it, and I was like, wow, we started to learn more ourselves from the internet and books and things like that. And we were able to locate a rabbi in Gainesville, and we started our process pretty much that way. And ever since then, the process went really well, and we finished our conversion right when school ended last year, and it worked out well for us. And we're happy.
Great. Well, as a Jew in the state of Israel, we're very, very glad you made that choice. We'd like to know, when you made the choice to convert, you didn't even, this wasn't, I hope this doesn't offend you, but you didn't, back in the 80s, a lot of players would convert just to come to Israel, but for you, it was nothing about that. You didn't even know you were coming to Israel, right?
No, not at all. My main goal, during college is playing in the NBA. And,
Right.
That was first and foremost, and I had no idea that being able to play in Israel would be an option. Of course, now being Jewish, it worked out well.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Well, no, that's just a lot of our, there's always that people think, oh, well, he just converts so he can come to Israel. But I want all our listeners to know that that's not the case. Okay, great. So
Yeah.
now we're gonna move on to good old Israel, as you mentioned, living in Ashdod, all that kind of stuff. So earlier in the year, I was following you on Twitter, and I was following you during the whole rocket attack from Gaza. Can you tell our listeners what it is like to come from, I believe you're from St. Louis, and then you go to Gainesville, what it's like to go from those cities to a city that, gets battered by rockets all the time? I saw you'd always tweet, oh no, not again. So can you just tell us what it was like to have to deal with that on a kind of regular basis in the month of October?
During that time when it happened, I was just thinking about, the possibility of something unfortunate happening to someone. I was praying for them. But as far as the attacks, it's just something that we have to live with, and I feel extremely comfortable here. I love being here. To tell you the truth, I'm more worried about walking around in St. Louis than I am being here in Israel. So it really doesn't bother me too much. But obviously, something that that's going on, or something that is happening. But it doesn't really bother me too much to an extent.
Okay, cool. So we talked about the Rockets because we had to talk about that first. Now, what about the culture, the food? We had Courtney Fells on a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling us that every Shabbat you guys would be matched up with a family in your city. What is it like for you on a Shabbat with you? First of all, is your wife living in Israel with you?
Yes, actually, she's in the States right now, but she plans on coming back soon.
Okay, cool. So what do you... okay, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Oh, well, for our Shabbat, we have a family here in Ashdod who holds dinner for us every Friday. And also, I have a family in Ashkelon as well who I go to see for Shabbat dinners. And as far as the food, I like the food a lot. It's very similar to American food as far as being able to, get the normal everyday life stuff. But as far as the type of food being kosher, I feel like it tastes a lot better, and it has more flavor.
Okay, great. So now we'd kind of like to talk about your current season. You guys started off kind of on a rough patch, but you guys have gotten a lot better. You had a great game two nights ago, or was it last night? 2 nights ago, Sunday night. Right, and you had that huge win in Nokia against Maccabi Tel Aviv, which, as you know, never ever happens in Israel. Can you tell us how your team went into Nokia? I think this was maybe even right after you lost Ramel Bradley to Hapoel Yerushalayim. I think you didn't have him for that, right? So you go down with one of your best players, and you go into Nokia, and you really just show them that you're a great team. Can you tell us what that win meant to your organization and what it meant to you personally?
I think it meant a lot to our organization. Going through a lot of adversity at the time, losing Ramel, and I guess we haven't been, really having a great season, and getting a win like that was very exciting. And I think it motivated us, and it's pushing us as a team to what we've been doing the past 5 games. I think we've won 4 out of the last 5, and we're just kind of moving on, or 5 out of 6, something like that. But also, like for me, being able to beat a team is, most talked about in Israel and even in all of international basketball. Tel Aviv one of the best programs in international basketball. I think it's just really, exciting, and I was really excited about that win, and that I was part of helping the team beat them.
Great. Yeah, it was a huge, huge win. A lot of people really took note of your team after that. You guys were kind of, in the middle, one of those middle teams, but as soon as you won there, it was a huge, huge win. Okay, so you, according to rumors, and I think it's been confirmed, you are going to be participating in the dunk contest, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell our listeners what kind of stuff they should expect Thursday night?
We'll see. You'll see. It's going to be a fun night. Hopefully I can pull something really exciting out of my hat.
Okay, did you watch the NBA All-Star game or the All-Star dunk contest this year where Jeremy Evans won from Utah?
Actually, I did not see it. I saw the highlights, and he had some pretty nice dunks.
Right.
I thought that the dunk contest, I would have liked to been able to see more high-profile guys. As far as like Blake Griffin, defending his title and things like that. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
Okay, so you were talking a little about some NBA players. What is it like living here and following the whole NBA scene? Where if it's a West Coast game, it's a 10-hour difference. If it's an East Coast game, it's a 7-hour difference, and you obviously have to go to bed early because you're a professional athlete. So what is it? How has it been like? First of all, are you a fan? Are you an NBA fan?
Yeah, I'm an NBA fan. I watch the highlights every day on NBA.com. They have like 2.5-minute highlights. But as far as watching games, I'm a bigger college basketball, college football fan. So I have like a package where I can just pull up the games and hook them up to my TV on my computer, and so I try to catch those games. But as far as the time difference, usually if we have like a later practice that day, I'll stay up and watch the games, or I'll just watch the games the next day.
Okay, great. As you mentioned, we're in official March Madness time. Could you talk to us a little about your? I'm sure you're still a big follower of your current Gators. What's been going on with them the last couple games?
Well, they played Kentucky last game. They were hanging in there. But Kentucky kind of pulled away at the end. Actually, they've been kind of in a slump. They lost one of their players, one of the guys who really, makes them go as far as rebounding and defense. Will you get? I think he's having a season-ending injury. I think he broke his foot or something. But I feel like in the tournament coming up, we really, can be a mismatch and nightmare as far as having a lot of guys who can shoot from the perimeter, and
right.
We're really quick and have really good guards. So I think they can make a big run.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of great point guards and shooting guards, and Patrick Young's been playing better down low this year. So yeah, it's a very, very, very dangerous team in the tournament, especially if they get hot for a while. So besides your Florida Gators, who do you think is going to win the national championship this year? Who can we mark you down as your champion?
I think Kentucky will win it all.
Okay. That's who most of everyone at Israel Sports Radio agrees with you on that. Okay, so as you mentioned earlier, you converted Judaism, and now there's been some chatter, some rumors. The head of the Israel national basketball team just flew to the United States to meet with Jordan Farmar and talk a little bit with Omri Caspi about playing this summer, in the tournaments that we'll have. If you get offered a spot, which many people in Israel think you will, and you're, way better, we've kind of been missing a good inside guy for the last 15 years. So if you got offered a spot for this national team, what would be your thoughts on that?
I definitely would love to play. I think that would be great, and I think it would be a excellent honor for being able to get the opportunity to play in an event like that.
Okay. We're gonna let you go on this one. What do you see as the future for yourself? What are your goals? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And what do you think of your squad this year? Do you guys think you can make a run, make the playoffs, do something really special in the playoffs?
Yeah, definitely. These last 3 games of the season, are huge for us and huge for a lot of teams in the league. I think we definitely have a shot. But as far as me, in the next 5 years, playing basketball, hopefully continuing to get better, and being healthy and going from there.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex Tice. We're wishing you the best of luck Thursday at the dunk contest. Israel Sports Radio will be there, so we will be expecting some huge things from you. And good luck with the rest of your season. We hope we have you on later in the year. Have a good day, or good night.
All right.
See you later.
Bye.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Ari Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
We'll be right back with Jim Williams of the Washington Examiner. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Ari Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Louis Live, and we're dialing Jim Williams, as you can hear, from the Washington Examiner.
Hello.
Hi, Jim. This is Ari Louis show on Louis Live. How you doing out there?
I'm fine on Louis Live. It's always a pleasure.
Great stuff, and this is a huge news-breaking day. Peyton Manning about to be released apparently in 1 hour is what we're being told. What was the final straw that broke the camel's back, if you will?
Well, I think the situation is, and by the way, the Cardinals are certainly in the mix.
Yes.
It really was a situation where you have two sides that want two totally different things. You had Irsay, who wanted Peyton to come back on a reduced contract and perhaps mentor Andrew Luck, but it was going to have to be a Colts-friendly deal. Peyton felt that he, had done enough for the Colts that he was owed, the $28 million that he was going to get, come next week was something that he definitely had earned, and that he was going to stick to that. There's never been, frankly, any animosity between Jimmy Irsay and Peyton Manning, and I don't think that today during the press conference that that you're going to see anything. I mean, this is a kumbaya moment. Peyton is being given the opportunity by Irsay to take his abilities and play for probably one of 5 teams that will actively seek his ability, while at the same time they're going to be tearing down and rebuilding what is the Indianapolis Colts. So if you don't have Peyton Manning and you don't have Reggie Wayne on that football team next year, we're going to see what Andrew Luck can really do as the quarterback. But I don't think that there really was a tipping point, other than the fact that Jimmy Irsay felt that Peyton the injury was something that he was concerned about, and wasn't sure that Peyton could make it through a full season, and didn't feel that paying him $28 million was a wise financial move for the Colts. Peyton understood it, didn't agree with it, but understood it, and I think that's the critical part. There's sometimes that players will disagree and not understand the financial aspects from a team standpoint and be bitter about it. In this case, Peyton was like, he understood it. He sees it as an opportunity to move forward and to, hopefully, in his case, prove that he was worthy of that $28 million. And his goal will be to prove Jim Irsay wrong with another team.
Now, we like to discuss the business side with you a lot, and they said that Michael Jordan, his playing career, pumped $1 billion into the economy. I'm curious if you can give us some type of estimate of what Peyton did for the community of Indianapolis in regards to finances, because Super Bowl came most likely because of him, the stadium, the jerseys that are sold, number 18, over and over. Is there a dollar amount approximately you could give us that Peyton Manning was worth to the city of Indianapolis?
Well, it's more of the state of Indiana, because the state of Indiana obviously is the people that first they built the stadium that brought the Colts there in the first place. Now the Lucas Oil building, which is the house that Peyton built, that stadium, which as you say, housed the most recent Super Bowl. If you're looking at Peyton has built hospitals in the area. Indiana was not necessarily thought of by many people as the hotbed of college, of professional football. And the Colts moving to Indianapolis was very much something that the league was somewhat concerned about. They knew that Indiana loved basketball. They just didn't know how much they loved football. And there was concern that moving that franchise from Baltimore to Indianapolis was a good move. And over a period of time, it has proven that obviously they've been able to bring the fans to the stadium. And Peyton, of course, has been, what has he been worth? I don't know that you could actually put a physical dollar figure on it, but certainly it's in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Could we say $1 billion? We certainly could say it'd be close to $1 billion. That the Colts have had an impact on the state of Indiana and football throughout that entire region. So, without him, can Andrew Luck, take the baton from Peyton Manning and lead that team forward? I think he can. Here's the problem. They're not going to have a lot of patience for them not winning when you know that Peyton Manning is going off and playing somewhere else. Their biggest nightmare, if you're Indianapolis, is that if Peyton Manning landed in Jacksonville or Tennessee, which he likely won't, but it is that would be their biggest nightmare.
Now, Peyton Manning was due for $28 million, and his annual salary is somewhere around the $20 million mark, I believe. What is he looking to get, or what do you expect him to get in the market of free agency?
Probably no more than a 4-year contract. And, the guaranteed money is always what we're looking at. And my guess is that the guaranteed money is going to be in the 33, 34, maybe as much as $35 million range.
Wow, okay. So cut in salary but still get big money even after the neck surgery and not playing for a year. So Peyton Manning's still going to command a lot of money. Now, I know last week we talked about certain places he might go to. Arizona. Now, you definitely don't think he's going to New York, but Arizona possibility. Raphael thinks Miami. If you had to decide right now, where do you think he's going to?
I would say the 3 teams that have the best chance would be Miami, Washington, and Arizona. Washington, because they will pay more money to him than anybody else. Miami, because they're probably closer to winning than any of the other situations. But at the end of the day, if Peyton wants to, Peyton played his entire career indoors, from a standpoint if he played at home indoors. And there might be some trepidation on Peyton's side as to whether or not playing outdoors is a wise thing. That's why Miami might be, something that he's interested in because, even though it's not indoors, the climate in Miami is pretty good in the winter time. So I don't know. I think it boils down probably to the system. Now, the Washington Redskins have already sat down and said, if Peyton Manning wants Reggie Wayne, they'll bring Reggie Wayne in. There's a number of Shanahan has sit down and has come out and said they want to talk to Peyton. Now, what's going to happen is and not unlike LeBron James, only in a much different way than LeBron did it. What Peyton will do is he will come and he will talk to the different teams, but he's going to interview those teams and he's going to find out what is it that they're going to do, not as much for Peyton Manning, but what are they going to do to make the team competitive. And I think that's where you're going to, find out where the rubber meets the road with Peyton. Peyton is going to look at this and it's kind of funny. People may or may not remember this, but when Peyton Manning was drafted by the Colts came in and they were really, they were vacillating between him and Ryan Leaf.
Right, that's right.
And Peyton Manning told the Irsay family at the time, if you don't draft me, I guarantee you I will beat you more often than not when whatever team I'm drafted by, I will come in and I will beat you every time. There's no lack of confidence in Peyton Manning, and Peyton, as I said, the reason I don't think he'll go to New York is because he would then be, in total competition with his brother. I don't think that Peyton wants to be in a situation where he's, taking away from what Eli's doing, or that Eli takes away from what Peyton's doing. It would be a total, nightmare scenario for both of the Mannings to be in the same town.
All right, switching gears to Major League Baseball, we're hearing a rumor that Alex Rodriguez might leave the Yankees. I wouldn't know how exactly that would come about. I don't imagine too many teams can pay A-Rod's contract. So how legitimate are those rumors, and what do you think will happen at the end of the day with A-Rod and the Yankees?
I'm sorry, that's new to me. Where did you hear that he was leaving the Yankees?
We saw something on Yahoo, but it might be some kind of a trick thing. Perhaps some rumors started by someone else. But so you never heard anything like that, and it sounded very weird to me.
I haven't heard that. I don't think that Alex Rodriguez is leaving the Yankees. I don't know that there's anybody, frankly, who would pay him the money. There's no way somebody's going to have to eat the contract, and the Yankees aren't going to eat the contract.
Okay, and pitchers and catchers, of course, reporting, I believe, very soon, or some have already reported. Is there a baseball team out there that is on the surprise, if you will, that we're not really keeping an eye on them because they're not in a big market or don't have a big player, and you think they're going to do something special this season?
Well, I'll tell you what. By the way, just check Major League Baseball trade rumors, and I didn't see anything there. That's a great thing, by the way, if you guys are baseball fans. It's called MLB Trade Rumors. You can just throw it in your Google machine, and it'll pop up. And they keep track of all the rumors. They've already started, of course, spring training games in Florida and Cactus League games out in Arizona. I would say a surprise team to look forward to in each league. All right, let me give you one. In the American League, I think the surprise team could very well be the Kansas City Royals. They're a very good young team. They've got a lot of good young pitching. They've got a lot of good young talent on that team. And they may be a year or two away from being a contender. Now, of course, they're in the same division with, of course, the Detroit Tigers and Chicago and Minnesota and the rest of the gang. And but I do believe that they may just be, flying well enough under the radar screen that they might put up some good numbers and actually challenge for that new fifth seed wild card position. So that one I think is going to be, a very entertaining situation for them. I think a team that will be greatly improved, and I think could very well break their record for the most losing team in sports over the past 17 years, and I think this is the year that the Pittsburgh Pirates break into the win column from a standpoint of they could. This is a team that could win 83, 84 games. They just signed Andrew McCutchen to a new deal. They've got some good pitching, and if they can keep A.J. Burnett from having to bunt, I think that'll be a big help from that standpoint. But no, I think that the Pirates, I don't think they'll contend, but I think that they can be a team that definitely finishes over 500, and I think Kansas City will also be a very entertaining team.
All right, I want to go back to the NFL. We see a report that Randy Moss had a workout with the New Orleans Saints. Randy Moss is 35, past his prime, and a lot of attitude issues. Now, I know the Saints don't have Marcus Colston, Robert Meacham. Or at least questions if they're going to be Saints or not. They could very well leave. They could come back. But do you like this decision by the Saints to work out Randy Moss? He causes so many problems with every team he goes to. Why would the Saints want to risk something like that?
I think it's a low risk, high reward situation. Sean Payton can cut him at any time if he were to sign him. And I think that you bring him in with the idea that Randy, Randy realizes that he's not going to give him any chances left. And you've got nothing to lose, and he's a good possession receiver. I don't think that at 35 years old he's going to be, your vertical receiver that's going to stretch the field. But I think his goal, with Randy is to make him a good possession receiver, and I think that under those circumstances, he's tall. He, has that basketball background, so he's still got some hops. He can get up and get the ball. And if he really wants to play, and he's dedicated himself to playing, you can get him for a reasonably, small amount of money. And as I said before, he could be a low-risk, high-reward addition to your team. And like I said, if he comes up and gives the team trouble, then you're cutting him, but you're not cutting someone who's going to kill your cap or in any way, shape, or form hurt your bottom line.
Hi, Jim. This is Raphael. I hope you're ready to talk.
Hey, Raphael. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks.
Great. I hope you're ready to talk some college hoops since it's March Madness time.
Sure.
Okay, so there's a new scandal now in Syracuse that we'd kind of like you to talk about and give us your thoughts.
Another one? Yes, that's right.
Right. We had the Coach Fine scandal earlier in the year, and we all know how that turned out. And now we have this new drug allegation. So what do you...
2000 that was 2001. Look, there's no question. I have great respect for Coach Boeheim. I've liked Coach Boeheim. He's a good guy. I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know enough about it yet. There hasn't been enough put out there. But I think that Syracuse is like UConn. They're on the cusp of a possible meltdown with the NCAA. There's too many things that have been flying. And, I would not be surprised to see this Syracuse team that Jim Boeheim has this year could very well be a national championship team. If they won the national championship, which is possible, I could see Jim Boeheim stepping aside and saying, you know what, what's coming down the pike here is not going to be good for Syracuse University. They're getting ready to move to, the Atlantic Coast Conference. That's not something that Jim Boeheim particularly, wants. And, he's at an age when, it's time to move on. So I could see by Boeheim retiring and seeing this whole Syracuse situation implode, but not on Boeheim to watch.
Okay. We want to talk a little about the Player of the Year race. Right now, it's pretty much come down to Thomas Robinson from Kansas and, of course, Anthony Davis from the University of Kentucky. Over the last couple of weeks, myself, I've switched back and forth. Davis, then Robinson. I just can't seem to make a decision. Robinson has a good game, then Davis does. At the end of the day, the season's over. Conference tournaments are coming up this week. If you had to vote right now, who do you got for Player of the Year and why?
I would have to go. The University of Kansas. I think that with what the quality of play in the Big 12 this year is better than the quality of play in the Southeastern Conference in basketball this year. So while there's no question that the kid from Kentucky is fantastic, I really have to say that I would go, because of the quality of play at Kansas, that it's going to be I'd have to go with him. Although you could flip a coin, and I think either one is a fantastic player, and they're both going to be good players in the National Basketball Association. But I would have to go. Right now, I think. If you look at what Kansas is doing, and if you look at the quality of play, they've got to play teams like Missouri. They've got to play, Oklahoma State. They've got to play Baylor. There's quality from top to bottom there. In the Southeastern Conference, once you get past Florida and Vanderbilt, and Florida, frankly, and I'm a Gator fan, is not really a fair challenge for Kentucky.
Right.
From that standpoint, it's really Kentucky and the rest of the Southeastern Conference. There's Kentucky's head and shoulders above everybody else in the league. It's kind of like men playing against boys in that situation. But you look at night in and night out the quality of play that the kids at Kansas are going up against, and I'd have to say that Kansas, the kid from Kansas would be my pick for the player of the year. And I'll tell you that this. I did a piece yesterday. I did an interview with Marv Albert and with Jim Nance on the upcoming tournament, and I will tell you that one of the great things about the NCAA tournament, and I'm sure you guys like it for the same reason, is you don't have to beat these guys best 2 out of 3. You don't have to beat them best 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 7. You only have to beat them one night. They only have to they only have to have one bad night, or you have to play one great game. And when you're in a one-and-done situation like that, it really, puts the pressure on all of these teams. And that's why some of these teams, like the Butlers and the VCUs that have gotten through in the past, have done well because they have been together for 4 years. And a lot of these teams, the great super conference teams, they'll have kids who will come in, play a year, play 2 years, and be gone. And very few of those guys have played together for 4 years. And so it makes for a very entertaining tournament. I really think there's going to be some phenomenal games this year and some phenomenal teams that will, there's always some fun of who's going to be the one that sneaks into the dance, all the way to the Final Four or the Elite Eight that, is the surprise team, and there's a number of them this year that could be there.
Okay, so speaking of VCU and Butler, who do you think could be that mid-major that could possibly make it out of the Sweet 16 weekend to the Elite Eight? I know there's been a lot of talk about Wichita State, Murray State. Well, who do you think is one of those mid-major teams?
I think Murray State is good. I think that you can't doubt their abilities. Murray State's been fantastic. I think that one of the teams, I think VCU's coming back. They've got some good players.
Right, they just won.
I'd like to see, I'll tell you a team that wouldn't surprise me. There's 2 of them, actually. They got to get in the tournament. Well, one's in the tournament, but Drexel is a very good basketball team.
And they just lost.
That is very physical and very athletic, and those are the kind of teams that can cause grief on a number of occasions. Cleveland State's another surprise team. They're from the Horizon Conference. They're in the same conference where Butler came out of the past couple of years, and they they're a good team. I think we talked about VCU. Yeah, we talked about Drexel. Don't sleep on Harvard either.
Right.
Harvard has played well, and it'll be interesting to see. So any one of those 4 or 5 teams, I would say, are certainly worth watching because they're all athletic, they all play smart, and they've all played together for between 3 to 4 years. And that really, when you get in a tournament and things start to go crazy, it's great to know, as you guys know, in any basketball, where if you've got guys who play together for 3 or 4 years, they know where each other is on the court at all times. And that really is amazing and very important attribute when you get into the NCAA tournament. And that's why they call it March Madness.
Okay, so as you just mentioned, a lot of those mid-major teams have, the 4-year players playing together. We've been kind of debating this the last couple of weeks on Israel Sports Radio with this Kentucky team. They're a pretty complete team inside and outside. They can shoot well. They have the inside presence. But the one thing they might be lacking this year, especially after they've had, John Wall and all those great Kentucky, Brandon Knight. This year, Marcus Teague, the point guard, has kind of struggled to lead this team, but he's kind of been bailed out by Davis and Michael Gilchrist. So, do you think that Marcus Teague is a good enough point guard to lead this team all the way to the national championship?
Ooh, look, Kentucky's a fantastic athletic team, but you just hit on a very important point. What happens in most of these games is that you're going to have to play a half-court game, and that becomes very important on the teams that win in these situations and advance in the situations are the teams that have the best guard play. And that you hit right on the point that Kentucky's problem may very well be their guard play. And look, can Kentucky win the national championship? They certainly have the athletes to do it. They're certainly capable of doing it. I don't think they'll do it, and I don't think they'll do it because I don't think they have the guards to pull it off.
Okay. So we talked about Player of the Year. We talked about some teams and the run. As a big Ten fan, do you think that Coach Bruce Weber's time has kind of run out at Illinois?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Each year Illinois has phenomenal athletes, and each year everybody expects them to do well, and they just haven't been able to get over the hump. And you still have Ohio State, you still have Michigan State, you still have Michigan, Indiana. All those teams are doing well, and then there's Illinois. And look, I think that the people of Illinois, that the athletic department of Illinois have expected that, to get some Sweet 16, Elite Eights, and even some Final Fours out of these teams, and they haven't gotten it. And I think you're absolutely spot on that might be the next good job that's open out there.
Okay, so the conference tournaments are coming up. Actually, the Big East tournament started. UConn has won.
Right.
Let's look at maybe a conference like the Big Ten, where a team like Northwestern really needs a win to snap that skid of getting in. Do you have a team, maybe not even Big Ten, let's just look around the country, Pac-12, SEC. Do you have one of those teams that's not in right now that might be a bubble team that if they have a couple good games or maybe even make it to the championship game, they can secure a bid? Any X factor teams?
Yeah, there's probably, you touched on one. I think Northwestern has it in them to make it to this. They could make a semifinal run. They've got that kind of talent.
Good scores.
I think that's a definite possibility for them. I'm kind of interested in Miami. I think that Miami, with Jim Larrañaga coaching there, they've given Duke fits. They've given Carolina fits. They have played, they've played 37 minutes of great basketball only to have the final 3 minutes blow up in their face. So, they're the kind of team that if you draw them, you're scared. You don't want to see them in a draw. West Virginia and South Florida are two teams in the Big East that I don't think a lot of people want to play because of, again, their athleticism and the fact that, sometimes if you're teams, especially in the Big East, where you feel comfortable that you're going to be in the tournament, that you get these teams that really want to play their way into the tournament, and you only have to have one bad game to get bounced, and so they could play their way in. So there's probably 3 or 4 very athletic, very talented teams out there, but I think the fun ones to look for are to watch Miami in the ACC, to watch South Florida and also West Virginia in the Big East. Let's see we'll watch Northwestern out in the Big Ten. Who out in the Big 12? Maybe Kansas State out in the Big 12. They've had some pretty interesting games. They've given hard failure to a couple of coaches out there. And out in the Pac, I guess the Pac-12 it would have to be UCLA. There's a team that is underachieved, and I think that Ben Howland knows that if they don't achieve in the Pac-12 tournament, he probably is going to be without a job.
Okay, so actually that was going to be my last college basketball question. It's kind of a two-part question. Two powerhouse programs. One we have UCLA and one we have Indiana, and they're kind of going in the opposite direction. Indiana's had the 3 wins against top 5 teams this year. Everyone's kind of saying Indiana is back. Where you go over to UCLA, and they've just really, as you said, underachieved. Revis Nelson got kicked off the team. Josh Smith has really struggled with his weight since, honestly, the day he got to UCLA. What do you think the significance is of this UCLA program kind of going downhill? They're not averaging a lot of fans, and now almost on the other side of the country, this Indiana University team is pretty much back. They have a top 3 recruiting class coming in next year. They have great players this year: Jordan Halls, Victor Oladipo, Cody Zeller, Christian Watford, and all those guys are coming back. So what do you think the significance is of those two programs kind of going in opposite directions?
Well, the significance is really that UCLA will not tolerate the losing, and will not tolerate the way that basically the athletic department is kind of, the athletic department out there screwed up both the football program and the basketball program together. So, I think at this point in time, you're looking at the situation of there might very well be a new athletic director coming in there. There might be, they already got rid of Rick Neuheisel as the football coach. I think you got to figure out that Holland is on his way out as the basketball coach, and I think that they're just, it may very well be time out in Los Angeles to clean house and to upgrade that program. And believe me, there's not. There'll be a lot of people who will line up for the job at coaching at UCLA.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
All right, Jim. I got 2 NBA questions for you, then we'll let you go. First, Dwight Howard, the number 1 guy in the trade market right now. If he is going to be traded, what do you think happens? Do you think he leaves the Magic, and if so, what team does he go to?
That's a good one. Let's don't leave Los Angeles. I think if they could pull it off, I think that the Lakers would try to put together the right package to get him on their team. And I think that look, when you've got a Dwight Howard and you're a team like Orlando, you're never going to get quality back for what you're getting rid of. So the only thing you can do is pray that you can get enough draft choices and enough, spare parts to keep you competitive till you can, draft a couple of kids and build the program back. So if they do it, and Pat Williams is a very crafty guy. I don't know that necessarily, Pat is very good at extracting the absolute last, draft choice out of whomever he goes with. But I know that Los Angeles wants, to pull a deal off to get him badly, and they may be the one team that has enough in the way of pieces, parts that Pat Williams may very well want to go with. And I don't think that Pat Williams wants to put Dwight Howard anywhere near the Eastern Conference, because if you're trading, your franchise guy, you don't want to see him on your side of the, draw anytime soon.
Wow, Dwight Howard in Los Angeles, Kobe Bryant, that would really be something. And last question, there is talk that some of the NBA teams will allow, or the NBA will allow teams to put advertisements on their jerseys. We've seen in race car driving, of course, we see that all the time with the cars and on their shirts. Do you think that will really happen, that we'll see ads on the jerseys of NBA players?
I think, I don't think it'll look like NASCAR. I mean, we've all seen it in soccer. I mean, obviously, if you watch the ELP, if you watch, Serie A or the La Liga or any of those teams, I mean, you're gonna see soccer with teams with the ability to sell sell sponsorship to on their jerseys. I don't think it's far behind the possibility. I think that as crazy as it sounds, I mean, look, the NBA is in a position where they need money. Some of the franchises desperately need money. So think about it. Think of how much money teams could extract from advertisers if you're going to put, on the front of the jerseys, your logo. I mean, that's going to be worth quite a bit, because then they become official, NBA properties, and so your logo, whatever it is on the front of a jersey that might be Kobe Bryant, or it might be Kevin Durant, or it might be Carmelo Anthony, whoever it is. I mean, you've got that opportunity to sell that, and that frankly to me would be worth more than, say, for instance, the naming rights to an arena.
Yeah, all the attention on the jersey when everyone's watching the game. So we'll have to definitely keep an eye on that story. Jim, pleasure as always. We really appreciate the time. Have a happy Purim to you and your family. Enjoy, and we'll have you on next week.
I'm looking forward to Hamantashen, boys.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Jim, be well.
All right, and you as well. Take care.
All right, that was Jim Williams. I'm going to say this right. Jim Williams of the Washington Examiner. I'm sorry, folks. I'm a little under the weather, as Raphael can attest to and witness with my coughing abilities. But that was great stuff. The 7-time Emmy Award winner. He didn't win those 7 Emmys on accident. And I just got pumped up and excited, Raphael, about Dwight Howard going to L.A. because then we might see Lakers Heat in the finals. If it doesn't happen, we're probably seeing Oklahoma-Miami in the finals, I think.
Right. Dwight Howard coming to that team changes the whole culture, changes everyone's mindset. And I agree with you. If they make the trade, Kobe starts playing better. Not that he hasn't played well, but just a different team. Kobe doesn't have to shoot the ball every 2 seconds. You kind of can rely on a guy down low to get points, rebounds, and agree.
The whole concept of the Western Conference doesn't play a lot of defense. It's more of an Eastern Conference thing. Well, Dwight Howard has won 4 or 5 defensive player years. 4.
Yeah.
So it's going to totally change the dimension. You're talking about one of these stars. If Dirk Nowitzki comes in to the lane, Dwight Howard can block a shot, knock him down. If Kevin Durant comes in, Dwight Howard might even be able to play him one-on-one, even out in the way. Dwight Howard's very versatile. He is a center, but he is a quick-moving center.
Very athletic.
Long arms. Doesn't just stay in the lane. He's able to move around and block shots. He gets steals, plays great man-to-man defense, team defense. So that would be gigantic. And if you recall, it was 4 years ago, the 2008, no one was sure what was going to happen in the Western Conference. There were 8 teams that had 50 wins, basically. And then all of a sudden, Lakers get Pau Gasol. And just this amazing trade. They take off. They take the 1 seed and go to the NBA Finals. Then 2 years later, win 2 titles.
Right.
So as much as Oklahoma City going to the NBA Finals, or Memphis, or even the Mavericks back in would be a great story, everybody would really want to see Lakers Heat. That's what we want to see. That's the dream matchup. Kobe Bryant versus LeBron James, Dwight Howard, Dwayne Wade. The coaches, not quite the same, not Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, but we'll deal with it. We have 4 superstars in the NBA Finals.
Young coaches.
So that part won't be the same. It's nice to have superstars on the bench, but in the NBA Finals, you're lucky to have 2 or 3 stars. Lovely, I know. Last year we had Dirk Nowitzki, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. So we had 3 superstars. And if Dwight Howard goes to the Lakers, I think we'll have 4, because I think the Lakers will go to the NBA Finals if they get Howard.
Again, as you mentioned, I think that'd be best for TV ratings. I'm sure our friend David Stern would not mind that. And, we'll see what happens.
All right, and David Stern, big listener of Israel Sports Radio. I do call him the dictator, but hey, sometimes dictators get the job done, and he's doing what he has to work with the NBA. I think is harder than any other sports because of a lot of different variables, especially this season with the lockout. But keep in mind, the NFL, most people will watch an NFL game even if they don't know who the players are. Baseball, I feel the same way. If the Yankees and Red Sox are playing, and if all the Yankees got traded somewhere and the Red Sox got traded somewhere, and the Yankees and Red Sox are playing in Fenway Park, I'm watching anyway. I don't have to watch for Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, or David Ortiz, or Jacoby Ellsbury, or whatever. I watch it more for the team name. But basketball is a star-oriented sport. So David Stern has to promote from that angle, and it's a little more unique. Now, coming up, we have a very special guest. Tell us about him, Raphael, please.
We are going to be having University of Akron Zips head coach Keith Dambrot, and he was also the LeBron James high school coach for 2 years, where he went 69-10 at high school in Akron, I believe, St. Mary's.
It's just St. Mary's, okay.
St. Mary's, and he won two state championships with LeBron. He's been a coach at a lot of different places. He's Jewish, so yeah, we're very excited to have him on and talk some hoops.
All right, and wow, a lot of questions we got to ask him, but one I think is I don't know if they remember this or not, because LeBron James wasn't in high school for about 10 years now. It's hard to believe how much time has gone by. Long time ago, but those high school games were on pay-per-view television. People paid money to watch them on TV. And it was a very circus-like atmosphere. Referees taking pictures with LeBron James after the game. More people were interested, some people I should say, were more interested in that game than some college basketball games, even some NBA teams. I mean, there was so much hype around LeBron James all the way back in high school. I'm sure junior high as well. So we'll take a break, and on the other side we'll have LeBron James's former high school coach, and he's currently the head coach of University of Akron. So just so anybody
who just won the MAC, they're the champions of the MAC this year, regular season champs.
Regular season champs, so they have an automatic berth into the NCAA tournament. And now it looks like he didn't go that far, the coach, as far as traveling. I don't mean he went from high school to college, but it seems like a local guy or likes that area of Ohio.
His alma mater was actually Akron, so he talks about it. We'll ask him all about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So stay tuned for that. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Louis Live, trying to get in touch with Coach Keith Damrod, and the coach has a really fine resume outside, of course, Coach LeBron James in high school. Hi, can I speak to Coach Keith Damrod, please?
Yeah, that's he.
Hi, Coach. This is Ari Louis with Israel Sports Radio. How are you?
Good, I'm doing fine. How about you, Ari?
We're doing great. Thanks so much for the time today. I know you're very busy. Congratulations on clinching the regular season title in the WAC and get the automatic NCAA berth. Tell us, at the beginning of the season, was that one of your primary goals to actually win the WAC? The MAC.
We always try to win. We've always had a very good program here, and our goals really are to get to the NCAA tournament and win games in the NCAA tournament. And really, we're more about the process. Trying to play well every single day in practice, because we know if we do that, we have enough talent to win games.
Hi, Coach. This is Raphael with you. I just want to talk a little about your college coaching career and everything, and where you've been and where you are now. So you started in the early 80s at Tiffin, which is it a Division II school?
It's Division II now. It was NAIA when I was there.
Okay, can you just tell us what we know you played basketball at Akron. Or you went to Akron. Did you play basketball at Akron?
Well, actually, I was a baseball player here. I was the captain of the baseball team. My family, my uncle and my dad were great players, and I got a little bit of my mom's genes, a little smaller, and so baseball is a little better sport for me. But so I played baseball here at Akron, was a graduate assistant at Akron, and then went to Tiffin as a head coach at 25.
So can you tell us why basketball? Why did you, if you were a baseball player, what drove you to become a head basketball coach?
Well, I played a lot of basketball growing up and also in high school, and really liked the game better than I did baseball. I was just a better baseball player. And then my family was all in it. Obviously my uncle was the MVP of the NCAA tournament in 1950 and was the number one draft pick of the Knicks. And my dad played on the number one team in the country at Duquesne. So I always had it in my blood. I just wasn't as good a player. And so I always wanted to, I always liked basketball better, really.
Right. So as my co-host mentioned, Ari Louis, you guys just secured the regular season championship in the MAC. So you guys still have the MAC tournament coming up. So you didn't secure the NC tournament lock yet, but what are your goals for the tournament coming up?
Well, this is a little different for us. The two times that we've made the NCAA tournament, we had to win 4 games to do it, and this year we'll have to win 2. So we've been sitting around since last Friday and won't play again until Friday. So we're just trying to get ready to play. We know how difficult it is to win. That's what's hard about being at the mid-major. You have to win the tournament in order to go to the NCAA, and that makes it very difficult, puts a lot of pressure on everybody. But we've been in the championship game in this league for 5 straight years, so we know what it takes to win, that's for sure.
Okay, so we're going to go back now to the beginning of your coaching career. You went to Eastern Michigan as an assistant, then you went back to Ashland University, I believe, or college, and then you had a couple years at Central Michigan, and then you went into high school, which we're going to get into that in a couple minutes. And then you, in 2001, you landed at Akron, where you were an assistant coach for 3 years. And now you've been the head coach at Akron from 2004. And last year, you guys made the NCAA tournament, and you guys finished third in the East. So you guys had a run in the conference tournament.
We did, and our league's very difficult. Everybody's pretty much the same, so probably our best team didn't make the NCAA tournament, and 2 of our teams that just struggled through did. Last year was the least amount of wins we had in the regular season in our conference, but we were good enough to win the tournament, and actually played a pretty good game in the NCAA tournament. Just didn't shoot the ball very well, but down 4 at halftime to Notre Dame. So we feel like we're capable, if we can get into the NCAA tournament, of beating people, because we're a big, strong team.
This is a question I've always wanted to ask. So, as you mentioned earlier, in 2006, 2007, you guys went 26-7, and you were 13-3. So that you guys were number one in the conference. Can you just tell our listeners out there what it's like as a coach, to have such a great season, and then kind of, not be able to win the conference tournament, not get the NCAA tournament bid, unlike in the major power conferences school, you can get an at-large without winning the conference. What is it like going into the locker room after that game, after you lose, and telling your guys, you had a great season, but you just couldn't make the NCAA tournament?
Well, that was particularly difficult because we were by far the best team in the league. And, we missed a free throw at the end. We had one guy that played broken thumb, and then there was a clock malfunction which allowed the clock to start late, which affected that game also at the very end. So we had a lot of bad things happen, and actually our best player on that team, Romeo Travis, is playing in Israel right now. So it was a hard thing, and then at that point there were no other tournaments besides the NIT, and we got snubbed out of that tournament, so our guys really didn't get to play in anything, and that was arguably our best team. So it was a difficult thing to talk to those guys.
Okay, as you mentioned, Romeo Travis is playing in Israel, and tomorrow Israel Sports Radio will be going to the All-Star game where he was just picked as a participant. So I don't know if you knew that, but we'll say hi for you. We just wanted to let you know.
No, Rome was a really good player for us, and actually both him and Drew Joyce were seniors on that team who both played for me at St. Vincent St. Mary. So that really made it hard because those guys really deserved much more. They had great careers here and really laid the foundation for our current teams. And Romeo's a terrific player in his own right. Having played with LeBron, people never realized how good a player him and Drew were, but they were really good players.
Okay, so you guys have made, as a head coach of Akron, you've had all winning seasons, and you should have really made the postseason. Even even your first year, you went 19-10, and that still was tied for second. So you've been very, very successful as a head coach at Akron. Something that's very interesting to me is you're one of the only coaches who's been at the NIT, the NCAA, and the CBI, which is the new tournament. Can you tell us a little about the difference between the NCAA, the NIT, and even the new tournament, the CBI?
Well, I think the hardest thing is once you've been to the NCAA tournament, the players in your program really don't want to play in anything else. Right. And that's sad because the NIT is a terrific tournament, and the CBI and the CIT, they're all good. It's different than football where, about 70 out of the 119 Division I teams play in a bowl. You don't have to be great to play in a bowl, but to play in the NCAA or the NIT, you have to be a really good team. It's very difficult. And then I know 2 years ago, Shaka Smart's team at Virginia Commonwealth won the CBI, and that kind of propelled them into the Final Four last year. And so there's a lot of good college basketball teams. There's 341 Division I teams in our country, and you have to have a good team to play in the postseason. There's no question. And each one of those tournaments is special in its own right.
Okay, so right now we just kind of, obviously this is Israel Sports Radio, so we just kind of want to talk about, you are a Jewish head coach in Division I, which is, these days, it's very, very rare. And we just wanted to get an idea of what your connection is with Judaism and basketball and just your thoughts on all that.
Well, that's a very good question. I think I've been fortunate. I've worked with another Jewish coach, Ben Braun, who now is the coach at Rice. But I worked with him at Eastern Michigan, and actually was involved with him in him getting the Maccabi games coach for the United States. And for me, I'm never going to forget where I came from, and never going to forget my people and my religion. I'm not as probably religious as a lot of coaches or a lot of, but I also know the history of Judaism and the struggles of our people and our religion, and I know what I am, and so I'm proud and I'm glad that I am.
Okay, and this is something that's really, 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 really interesting, is that actually in the MAC conference there are two Jewish head coaches. We actually just had, last week we had Coach Rob Senderoff from Kent State on, and so we had that's just kind of cool that you guys get to coach each other. I think it's probably the only time maybe in the country when two Division I Jewish head coaches go up against each other. And I believe you guys just had a game against each other last week, right?
We do, and Kent State's our biggest rival. They're only 15 miles apart, and they've had a terrific program over the last 12 years. And obviously, I know Rob well. I have a lot of respect for Rob. And ironically, our women's coach also is Jewish, so we have kind of a trifecta here in Northeast Ohio.
Right, and also, if I'm pretty sure that in Toledo, the woman, there's a Israeli Nama Shfir who dropped 40 points last year in the NIT title game. So really, Ohio
she's terrific. Have you ever seen her play? She was injured this year, I believe.
She tore her ACL.
She's probably the best player in our league.
Right, and you know what? Even if we're going to go that far, let's go all the way to Cleveland, where we have the only Israeli player ever to play in the NBA, drafted player, Omri Caspi. So Ohio is the place to be for Jewish hoops.
Yeah, isn't that something? It's a small world sometimes.
All right, Coach, this is Ari Louis again, and I know a lot of media nerdy types will ask you incompetent questions regarding you coaching LeBron James, but I want to try to be a little creative and try to not to be so geeky. But what I want to know is, what was it like coaching a high school team in a circus-like atmosphere where the games were on pay-per-view TV, the referees are taking pictures with LeBron James after the game? Some people cared more about those games than some NBA teams, some college teams. So how did you coach and try to maintain your sanity during the circus-like atmosphere?
Well, it wasn't so bad. I only had him the first 2 years of high school, so it really got to be a little crazy towards the end of it. But the couple things I'll tell you is, number one, LeBron was an easy guy to coach. Very team-oriented, really wanted to learn, just a terrific player, very good teammate, really liked to pass the ball. But I saw some strange things along the way. Like I saw a sophomore, 16-year-old, have 300 people waiting for autographs after we played, including guys we just played in their uniforms. So I thought I was running around with Elton John or something like that as a 16-year-old. But I thought he handled it well. I thought all along all he cared about was winning. And I have a lot of respect for LeBron because of the way he is. And is he perfect? Absolutely not. But, hey, I wouldn't be the coach of the University of Akron if it wasn't for LeBron James and his people. And so I have a great affinity for LeBron, and I have tremendous respect for his ability because there's no one in the world better than him.
Wow, that's very nice of you to say, Coach, to give LeBron credit, and be honest, we appreciate that. And one thing I also got to know, what was it like for LeBron's teammates? Because they want to win, they want to play well. They're in high school, they have their own issues, and they're in the shadow of this future NBA great. So what was it like for LeBron's teammates?
Well, that's what was so interesting. Little Drew Joyce was probably the only guy that ever could tell LeBron about himself, and he didn't hold back. 9-10 years old, and those guys knew how great he was, and he made it easy to play with because if we played a bad team, he'd spread that ball around. He didn't care about scoring points. Like I told you, he was one of the easiest guys I've ever been around, coach, and easy to play with because he's so team-oriented. And at times he gets criticized now for being team-oriented, and I think he's always been the same way. He trusts his teammates, and it's hard, but it's fun too. They live this and famous when they're around him in high school because they're getting covered all over the country. And, for every bad thing, there isn't much privacy. There's a lot of good things to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And last question about LeBron James in high school. We understand there's a movie coming out about LeBron in high school.
There was a movie.
There was a movie. So
about all the starters. Romeo Travis was featured in the movie a lot.
Yeah, more than a game. It's a doc. It makes me out to be meaner than I was, so don't believe it. It's a little bit it's a little bit embellished. I'm really a nice man.
Absolutely. You're on Digital Sports Radio. How could you not be nice?
Okay, you're back now with Raphael. We just want to kind of wrap things up real quick. So, first of all, you guys, you make if you're in the top two or you're the top one, you get a double bye and you're in the semifinals of your conference tournament. And so you have a game this Friday. If you win that, when will the championship game be?
Yeah, exactly. We'll play on Saturday, and we Coach send her off again on Friday.
Oh, so you guys
are with Kent State.
Oh, so the semifinals matches against So that'll be a very, very big game for both of your programs.
Exactly, and we've always over the last probably 6 years, Kent State and Akron have had the two best teams in the league, which makes it very interesting because, again, we're so close. It's like Duke and North Carolina. And so it puts pressure on both of us, but, I figure he's got a lot more years to coach, so he might as well let us win this one.
Okay, so assuming you guys clinch the bid and you get, let's say, between, 10, 11, 12 seed, do you think this team, I noticed this team's a very balanced team in scoring. Do you think this team, let's say they're 12, do you think this team can, pull the 12-5, which happens every year? There's usually one 12-5. Is this team strong enough to make it out of maybe even the first week and maybe make a surprise run of the Sweet 16?
Yeah, I believe so. I do. I think the two ingredients that we have that most mid-majors don't have is, first off, we have the 7-foot center that changes the game around the rim, Zeke Marshall. Zeke Marshall's a guy that can shot block with anybody in America. Most mid-majors aren't big enough to play with the big boys. And then the second ingredient is we have an excellent point guard in Alex Abreu from Puerto Rico. So we have good point play and good center play, which is the key to winning tournament basketball games. We'll have to shoot the ball well. There's no question about that. But we have a team that a lot of the high majors will not want to play.
All right, Coach, we know you're very busy preparing for your tournament, and we certainly appreciate the Top 10 Israel Sports Radio, and I'm more happy to make an offer to you that if you guys get in the tournament, get the upset, we'll be happy to bring you back on and talk about it, if you have the time, of course.
Well, I'm always available for you guys, and to all my Israeli friends, hello, and hopefully you'll be following us in.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach. We really appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Be well and good luck.
Okay, take care now.
All right. It was Coach Keith Damrod, and I like how honest he was about LeBron James, and LeBron was nice. LeBron helped him get his college coaching job, and that it was not the easiest thing, but there was a lot of fun to it. It was kind of like hanging around with Elvis, basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at it going from, even if you're one of the top coaches in high school, which he was at the time, it's still very hard to make that transition to, a pretty solid Division I program. And he was there for 3 years at St. Mary's, and he got the assistant coaching gig offer. He did really well as an assistant, was promoted in 2004, and since then they've had all winning seasons. They've been in the top 3 every year in their conference. So this is a very, very solid program. That's maybe one of those up-and-coming mid-majors that all our listeners out there should look out for in the coming years. Maybe the next Butler.
Yeah, and we've interviewed a lot of different coaches who will play in the tournament, so one of them's got to win the title. It's just the mathematical odds. And when they do, they will be right back here on Israel Sports Radio. That's going to conclude our show for tonight. Great show. I want to thank all our guests. Former Philadelphia 76ers general manager Brad Greenberg. He was the man that drafted Allen Iverson number 1 overall in 1996. Alex Tice, who will be participating in the All-Star festivities tomorrow,
right,
that me and Raphael are going to check out in Ashkelon. So we appreciate Alex's time before the big event. Jim Williams from the Washington Examiner saying that Peyton Manning may have pumped near $1 billion in the economy of Indiana. So that was some great breaking news. We talked a little finance, a little college basketball, and regular basketball as well. He thinks Dwight Howard's going to the Los Angeles Lakers. And, of course, our last guest, Coach Keith Damrod, who coached LeBron James in high school, currently is the University of Akron head coach, regular season MAC champions, looking to win the MAC tournament, get that berth in the NCAA March Madness, and hopefully pull up an upset or two, get to the Sweet 16. We hope everyone has a great Purim out there. It's Purim in the rest of the country and the rest of the world right now. Tomorrow night is Purim in Yerushalayim. That's tomorrow night. That's it for tonight. God bless and good night.